Namaskar and welcome to My Startup TV. I'm Major Sunil Shetty. This is Founder Talk Show. In this episode, we are speaking with the minds behind Electrono Solutions. It's a Bangalore-based startup that is simplifying manufacturing through IIoT, analytics and design consulting. So joining me today, my guest is he's the director and CEO of CEO. He's Anish Pandari to share the journey and vision and impact of Electrono Solutions. Anish, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sunil. Thank you for having me in this show.
Well,
Technology, deep tech, that is AI. That is the flavor of what you hear across the startup ecosystem, across the headlines, isn't it? So, could you tell us about the founding of or the founding story or the founding reasons behind Electrono Solutions? How did it start? Who are the founders, and what gaps you saw in the market that made you to decide, to build this company?
So, well, Sunil, like most stories, Electrono Solutions was born in the engineering college. It was basically my senior, Kalyan Ram, and two of my juniors together. How is when they decided that they would not want to put up a company together. That was around the time of post 9/11 when the terrorist attack had happened, and we wanted to provide solutions to the defense and aerospace sector in the space of IoT. That's how the vision was there, and that's how the engineers all came together. And that's how Electrono as a company was born at that time. The whole idea was to how can you ensure that you are able to provide solutions to our Indian ecosystem, to our defense and aerospace, to ensure that we are able to take our technology level to the next stage. That was how Electrono was born. So basically, all engineering classmates, basically, and seniors.
that's
2 decades, isn't it? So, do you want to simplify, manufacturing process and amplify growth via operational visibility? What are the key technologies or tools you use to enable this?
Like we said, what the tools that are available now, is secondary in most cases, because with the advent of AI and with the availability of tools are plenty. What becomes critical is what is happening now in the space is that the customer is becoming the centerpiece of any solution. So you have close to 15-20 solutions that are available for various aspects, and the companies also there, they're providing very niche solutions. What is becoming critical now is that the voice of the customers are getting more highlighted, and the need of the customer based on which the technologies are able to align to their requirement. And for two different customers, or even for a single customers with multiple factories, based on their needs, different kind of technologies are coming together. So yeah, that's a kind of change that we see in the market currently. It's no more technology led; it's more customer led now.
which is what
I remember way back. I think it's about a decade and plus before that, probably about 15 years ago, there was this news article that talked about customer is going to be the king. And I think this was in early 2000s, isn't it? And that is how the whole concept of customer being the king, or companies have to work around, a customer or their needs. So, what is Electrono's core offering? Is it the design? What is it your core offering?
Like the main three core offerings for Electrono as a company is, number one is non-destructible testing, which is a very unique space that we work on. Probably one of the only companies in India which has a solution wherein for the complete sound-based analysis of the system. That means based in sound, we are able to detect any defects in the metal environment, which usually the X-rays or the ultrasonics are not able to detect, right? So that's one of our key offering, the non-destructible test area. The second is Industry 4.0, specifically for the defense and aerospace sector. That's again our second biggest strength. And the third becomes the automated test, which we provide for most of the government DRDOs, the GTREs, and the HALs of the world. That becomes our third biggest area that we work on.
Could you elaborate more
of
about
the
the
defense and aerospace, work that you're doing in that sphere?
From the defense and aerospace side, Sunil, there is a lot of Industry 4.0 initiatives that have been mandated by the government now, and a lot of the defense establishments are moving towards complete digital transformations, and we are helping them with the digital transformation journey. Number one, and this is across but the MDPFs, the OFPCs, and the heavy vehicles factory. You name, most of these defense industries are moving towards this, and we are currently working with them in this journey of complete digital transformations for those factories. Second is relevant automated tests. There is huge demand that we see in the market, wherein there is earlier which the areas, I think there is a lot of government push also to digitize or to have that digital transformation, and we see that in the ground reality, where most of the earlier manual work, currently people are preferring to have automation involved. So in whatever ways we are working with them in smaller digitization as well as larger digital transformations for the defense and aerospace sector.
well,
Because we
viewers, we
want to
want to
remind you that Suraksha Mahotsav 2025 is around the corner. It starts on 24th to 24th September to 26th September. It will be held in Vishakhapatnam. So do join us. You can follow My Startup TV for the live broadcast of the event all the 3 days from the center. Also, if you're looking to join, be part of it, whether you are a startup in the defense aerospace sector, whether you are somebody who works in the sector, somebody who wants to be part of the sector, defense aerospace, you all know how this industry has come to the fore post Operation Sindoor. You either can come in physical and be part of the event from 24th to 26th September in Vishakhapatnam, or just follow My Startup TV on our web TV or YouTube to know what's happening latest live from Vishakhapatnam. Coming back to you, Anish, could you explain how how your iHub works? What are its components? Whether it is IoT devices, edge computing, cloud analytics. I mean, what are the problem in manufacturing does it solve? I know that it's an in-house thing, but then today we see big companies have the concept of entrepreneurship, where employees and key personnel within the organization to act as entrepreneurs, and their solutions are what leads to the next level of growth or the next cycle of growth. So what does iHub is all about?
It's a very interesting question you asked here. So iHub is the innovation hub for Electrono. And what becomes critical for us is, as you know, the kind of technology that is, changing and the speed at which it is changing, to keep a track of it, becomes very difficult. And we do not want to miss out on any technology buzz that is available. So what we have, like you rightly mentioned, it is a culmination of multiple technologies. Like, for example, it has a component of generative AI coming in. It has got a component of real-time physics-based AI models that we are preparing. A simple thing like we work on submarine weld monitoring, for example. So when you have to have such a big hull being welded, any defects in the weld will ensure that you cannot move the submarine left, right, and center to ensure that you're going to test it again and bring it back to weld. So you need to do a lot of on time, real time monitoring of these kind of special actions. So that is where iHub comes into play, where we work on these kind of niche problem statements. We work with academics, we work with collaborative teams, wherein we are able to come up with innovative solutions which can be used in the industry.
anything that you can share
That
that
came
came
out
out
of
of
iHub, which helped you, one is to solve a problem, and the other is to say that you have the right people in place who are innovators, who are thinking like entrepreneurs. And how did you reward them?
I have a lot of interesting projects have come out from iHub. In fact, there has been, like I said, one of them was the monitoring of, real-time weld monitoring, in terms of we wanted to check how can you defect while you weld, any issues happen, not post welding. You goes into the checking and then it comes back. There are certain case studies, like I mentioned earlier, wherein which huge weldings are happening. If you're not able to detect the welds on time at that point in time, you miss the bus. So this is again part of one of our collaborations with multiple institutions where the teams had come together as a project, and we were able to deliver it. And today the customer is quite happy. It's one of the defense customers. I do not want to name them, but it's one of the customers, and it was a very valuable thing. And like you asked the second question as to how do you
Reward
reward
them.
our teams. So we have a very open culture in Electrono Solutions where we promote entrepreneurship. If there are teams which are working with us who would want to start off on their own, what we work with them is help them start off as a company, and also any requirement, initial support that is required for them is also something that we provide, as providing opportunities, and then they are on their own. So that is again something that we take up as an initiative to support other startups to take off, and help them with that journey.
Oh, that's commendable
Because
because
I
I
think many more companies like yours should do it, that promote entrepreneurship, and somebody wants to spin off his or her own company, because ultimately they would add to your business, isn't it? Through innovation, through product development, new ideas, so I think more of them should do. So how does Electrono help small and medium enterprise and educational institutions? Because that is one of the things that you do, right? Do you have any examples of improvements and efficiency in productivity or cost saving?
So, in terms of SMEs, we ourselves are an SME. We consider ourselves an MSME, come under the MSME category, and MSMEs become a critical aspect for us in terms of how we work. Is we as an organization, look to ensure that there are spaces in which we are grooming the relevant SMEs. Also, if there are certain projects that we work on, we ensure that there is a certain part of it, whichever is something that is relevant for SMEs to be handed over. We work on that, providing solutions to the SMEs ourselves. Wherein helping them improve their overall efficiency in terms of their production monitoring, ensuring their downtimes are reduced. So these are all aspects in which we work with SMEs, because most of the SMEs, if you look at it, are usually with 3 or 4 machine, infrastructure kind of team, where they would not be able to afford those kind of huge, investments into softwares. So that is where we work on the kind of subscription model, wherein which is at a nominal cost, they will be able to work and ensure that they're able to get the results in similar fashion. What we also do is align with certain education institutes. We are working with education institutes like RV College in Bangalore. We work with IITs in Delhi's. We work with Atria College, and there are certain list of colleges with which we work with very closely. When together we take up certain case studies and see if we will be able to use it as a live case study from the student perspective. They are working on a real time project and not a project which is obsolete or which is not relevant. They'll be working on a very relevant project, and from the end result point of view, the SMEs also benefit because they are getting a solution at a optimal cost. So a win-win situation for all. That is something that we work on.
and what
Role
role
does AI play in your solution, especially in the areas like machine condition monitoring, or predictive maintenance? Because these are key areas, right, for somebody like you, and AI being the thing that seems to be like the one solution for all problems. So, what role does it play in these two critical areas?
Think this particular, answer about 5 years back would have been very different, Sunil. But I think now the change is, quite visible. Actually, it's in fact in India also now you have companies that have 1,000 machine infrastructure, 6,000 machines, 3,000 machines in a single shop floor, which was not imaginable. Even 10 years back, we could not see such kind of infrastructure, but we see those kind of infrastructure now. And with these infrastructure also comes the challenges. Imagine having to monitor 3,000 machines in a single shop floor, right? It's absolutely impossible if you do not have a kind of AI framework of predicting it. Otherwise, we'll have to have that amount of a huge workforce to be able to monitor each of these machines. So right now, the AI is playing the critical role of predicting, informing the teams well in advance as to what are the areas that they will need to work on, and they are able to take planned downtimes, and not ensuring that there is abnormal shortage or stoppage of machines, which are going to cause disruption in the manufacturing. So yes, AI plays a critical role for us in the current space.
Oh, definitely.
Recently, we
Recently we
were at
were
a
at.
textile manufacturing plant, and we saw hundreds of machines. You're talking about thousands, hundreds of machines, and to think about as to how do you create or at least keep a track of the preventive maintenance itself is a challenge. So AI definitely plays a major role there. So how do you ensure that legacy systems and modern machines can integrate in a single platform? Because when you go to these big machines, they're not going to change all 600 in one go. So what challenges do what are the challenges that you overcome, see, and how do you overcome them?
That's a very good question. So in fact, legacy machines are, it's always been a challenge. So it's when you look at it, the challenge increases multifolds. Not only is it a generation, or the legacy brings in legacy generations of old machines. It also, you have the complexity of multiple brands of machines also coming, right? It's not just generation; it is also the kind of brand. So now you have basically the three major architectures in the world: the German architecture, which is led by the Siemens of the world; the Japanese architectures, again led by the Mitsubishis, the Fanucs of the world; and the US architectures, basically the Haas and others, right? So here in a single floor, it is mostly in India, wherein you will find all of these machines together, right? And now, when you try to integrate them, they all come with different protocols. So these are all challenges that do exist, but for us, what we have already crossed that tide, because we have already worked out how do you integrate. See, there is always retrofit IoT devices that has come by for very old legacy machines. There is OPCO protocol, which takes care of most of the relatively newer machines post 2010 onwards. The machines, the OPCO compatibility takes over, and there is also custom middlewares that we are working on, which helps in certain cases. So legacy integration, we are already taken care of basis all these various multiple options from our side.
And we hope that in coming
Time
time
there'll be
there'll
a
be.
fourth architect would be the Bharat's architect, where we come up with machines that come to rule the world. That's what probably we are all looking for, working towards, and companies like you will have to do that. So how big is your team? Because for the kind of work you're doing, you need a huge team. And what kind of talent do you look for as a when you're hiring them, and what's your company culture? I'm asking this question very specifically because most of our viewers are young entrepreneurs, they are students, and early stage entrepreneurs. So for them to understand, if they and people who are looking for internships, probably you could also talk about that a bit. What's the kind of team you have, what's your company culture, and what do you look for people, whether be it full-time employees, be it interns, when you're hiring them?
So, in terms of our total team size, in terms of we are, we're both contract employees all put together, we are about a team of close to 85 people. We keep our teams quite, flat in terms of, if you look at it, there is it's like a zero hierarchy approach is what we are trying to maintain. In terms of here, if an intern has a suggestion and if it makes sense, we go ahead and implement it. And that nimble nature of the startup is what we are trying to maintain, to ensure that the innovations and the new ideas don't get lost here. And the simple approach is that give the power to the youngsters, whoever is coming in, because we feel that they come with the latest ideas, and if you're not if allowing them to go ahead and at least try, we will be stopping their innovation and their thought process. So that's something that we are very cautious of, and we came up the hard way because we didn't have any political godfathers for to guiding us. So we are trying to see how we can not have that passed on to the newer generation at least.
Well, that must be very hard. That's
Definitely
definitely.
heartening to hear. And also, all those youngsters who are watching this program, for them this is the place to be. If a company can give you the opportunity to listen to your idea, not miss out on your innovation, I think that's the place you want to be, guys. So I know, Anish, what are some of your most interesting projects or clients that you have done so far? Maybe you can share one of those particularly any challenging or rewarding experience you had.
One thing which is very close to me is one of the projects that we delivered for the non-destructible testing. Uh, if you remember, one of the major, I don't want to name the company, but one of the major car brands sometime back, about 7 years back, had a huge vehicle recall because there was a powertrain failure. And as you know, you cannot detect a fault in the powertrain just by X-ray or by any other way. And so by it is usually sample tested. So if there's a sample, random sampling happens, and if a sample passes, the entire lot is passed. There's no other way to bring that. But there was a major accident. There was a loss of life because of the powertrain failure, and because of which the entire powertrain lot was rejected by one of the vendors. So they came to us asking that what the OEM has purchased a device which is going to detect based on another method to see if there is any fault in the powertrain or not. But how can we supply something which is error free to the customer? So that's when we came together and we bought up a system called the sonic analysis. That is again like what I mentioned, based on sound, you are able to detect if the metal that has got any anomalies or not. And to date, we have had zero defects that has been passed on to the customer. It has been close to 7 years, and we are still that customer still is with us. And with zero defects, I think we are indirectly impacting lives, touching lives, and also ensuring that there is protection and safety for the end customer who's driving a car. So yeah, that's very close to us.
Well,
Well,
that's a
that's a
good
good.
part of being, part of this journey where one is, we know that the medicine, medical field, where lives can be saved, but also engineering has its own role to play, where you by create the right environment, you create the right innovation, you pick the right innovation, right people who can put the right things on the ground that leads to, you may not directly save lives, but your innovation leads to safety of life. So that's very important. How do you see the future of IIoT? Automation and smart manufacturing in India. Where does Electrono want to be in the next 5 years? Where do you fit in?
As an organization, I think as a country, I believe that India will be leading the next manufacturing story, right? Our competitions are with our neighbors. We have a very healthy competition, I would say, and what we can look at is also learn a lot from everybody. So every competitor is also an some way a teacher for us, and we learn. And what has happened in India is that we have had a good mix of multiple cultures who have bought in their thought process, and we have learned as a manufacturing country all those Japanese technologies and the Chinese and the American and the European technologies. And I see a lot of innovations are happening in amongst the manufacturing side. I see a lot of different solutions being provided in India, which whenever I visit some of the international trade shows, I'm surprised to see that India is literally ahead or in par with most of the international organizations. So I see that India will be leading the complete charge in the coming years, and I would want Electrono to be a default partner of choice for any of these kind of issues. This is something that I look forward to doing from our side.
Well, we wish you all the very best, and
Because
because
it's
it's
companies
complete.
like Electrono, when they do well, when they reach out on the top of that pile, the country as Bharat, we would be that Viksit Bharat in coming years. So, just from the standpoint of people who want to know, about the pricing, especially manufacturers. How's the pricing, for maintenance and the support that you provide, especially because many SMEs may or may not be able to afford it. So who work, because most SMEs work on limited budgets, and they may be feeling that your services may be very high. So could you talk about the pricing without getting into details of it? I mean, is it something which is affordable? And if you can share some numbers, it will be great.
Terms of from the SME perspective, what we have is module-based, pricing. That is, in terms of you do not have to buy the entire, solution or the package if you are not interested. How are we able to break it down into smaller packages and to be able to take it to our customers? For example, some of the customer, the biggest challenge is maintenance. So how can you buy just a maintenance module to ensure that you're able to take care of it? Or some of them would want to more, do their production monitoring, or some of them want to do only their quality maintenance, right? So based on what their requirements are, we have broken it down into smaller pieces which they can take it up in affordable prices and in subscription model, which ensures that they don't have the burden of the entire software that they usually have to purchase. So we provide that kind of flexible models to our SMEs, and that is something that has helped most of them.
So any price or the
Any number that you could give bracket wise from X to Y?
Example, our subscription models, based on their requirements, starts off from as low as 1,500 rupees to, and we have also end-to-end solutions that we provide, which stretches up to 5 to 6 crores. So we have a huge gamut of solutions that we provide based on the needs of our customers.
well, 1,500 is a quite an affordable
Number, even for small, not just for SMEs, probably even startups who are very early stage, and if your solution could be of use to them. So how do you measure success of your solution? I mean, what are the metrics do you track? Is it the uptime? Is it the efficiency? Is it the return on investment? How do you measure success of the kind of work you do?
Like, for example, like I said earlier, the customer defines their pain points, and that becomes the definition of our success. Like, for example, if a customer says that what, quality is our biggest challenge, and we are having challenges in that space, and we're not able to provide quality solutions to our end user, then that CPCPK and PPPK becomes our success metrics. If an organization comes and says efficiency is our concern, then OE becomes our metrics. Somebody says that what, we are having abnormal breakdowns, then the downtime time becomes the metrics for us. So like I said, this varies from customers to customer, and basis the customer need, the metrics are also altered.
well, that's interesting. That's a great conversation
with you, Anish. And before I let you go, My Startup TV, we are a media house for SMEs like you and startups. Basically, we cover the whole, we are for the entrepreneurs through our various verticals, whether it is our web TV where we broadcast 24/7, whether it is our digital magazine that comes every month, podcast, OTT, and the newly launched news portal. The whole aim is to provide the coverage that the mainstream media misses out on. We talk business, we talk entrepreneurship. What do you think about the kind of work we are doing?
You think about the kind of, sorry, I missed that end.
I said, what do you think? What are your
thoughts about the kind of work we are doing as My Startup Media House?
This is a fantastic work that you're doing, Sunil. In terms of what happens is, a lot of these players are get lost, right, in the crowd. So what you do is, when you take this story and bring it out in the open, it gives a platform to a lot of people who otherwise, in their day-to-day life, this is not even a concern. Like, for example, as you know, an American company would place marketing on a higher pedestal. As you know, Indian companies probably will put the last amount on the marketing budgets, and you being able to bring these stories up gives a lot more visibility to people like us, and also a lot of other SMEs who will be able to bring their stories out in the open. So great job that your team is doing, and I wish you all the very best for what you're doing.
Thank you, Anish.
Thank you for being on our show, and we hope to see you again on some of our panel discussions around manufacturing, AI, and the kind of work you're doing. We also we'll keep track of what Electrono is doing, so we can update our audience, our viewers on that. Viewers, that is Anish Pandari, who's the director and CEO, founder of Electrono, a design consulting company that works with MSMEs or SMEs. As I said, from 24th to 26th September, there is Suraksha Mahotsav 2025, which is the biggest India's biggest defense expo held in Visakhapatnam. If you can join us there, MyStar TV will be there, live broadcasting. If you can't join on the location, follow us on our web TV, YouTube, to see what's happening in the defense expo. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Anish. Thank you for joining us.